A picturesque day here in Calgary, and why not? It's the Senior Western National Championships indoor tennis from the Calgary Winter Club. Hi there, my name is Phoenix, joined by sideline reporter JP Parsonage, and by my side today, providing insight and analysis, assistant tennis pro at CWC, Peter Smythe. Peter, here we are. We're in the finals. Two gentlemen are pitted against each other, and noticeable differences with each of these two.
Yes, well, we've got Richard Cooper. He's the #1 seed in the event. He's originally from Welland, Ontario, now a teaching pro at the Calgary Winter Club. He's got a ton of experience at a really high level, both as a player and a coach. He's been ranked #2 in Ontario in Men's Open. He was a mainstay in the top 15 in Canada for a number of years in men's singles. We also have Thomas Huang. Thomas is a Calgary Winter Club member. He's currently ranked in the 5.0 singles in Alberta. He's a 3-time finalist in Calgary Winter Club tournaments and plays at the Calgary Winter Club in the winter and is the president of the Calgary Tennis Club and plays there also in the summer.
Both these men warming up right now. We have a few people just onlookers who are excited about today's match.
Yeah, well, right there we're looking at some of the club members, and they'll know both these players because Richard is the coach of some of them, and they've seen Thomas compete in the club championships and also in the men's leagues in the club. And so on.
Less than 2 minutes away here, home to 8,000 members here at the Calgary Winter Club. This is a 280,000 square foot facility. This is an extension that was added to the Winter Club, was about 5 years back?
Just a little over 3.
Okay. Great conditions. Well, of course, we're inside here, but a fantastic facility. We're excited about bringing you today's match between these two. Best of 3. And here is just a final of remaining few serves. 1 minute remaining in here. And we, again, the keys to success for each of these competitors.
This is the men's singles 40.
Starting with Thomas. What does he have to do today to be successful?
Well, the first thing he has to do is to be able to withstand some of the pressure that Richard's going to bring. Thomas is a guy who wins with his quickness around the court, and his consistency and smarts, and his ability to counterattack and defend. And so if he can withstand the onslaught, especially early, and get Richard out of his rhythm, that'll be the key to his success.
And Richard, for him, he needs the rhythm. He needs to be aggressive right off the get-go for his success.
Yeah, he's got weapons in all aspects of his game, and in some of the matches previously in this tournament, he's taken a little while to get going and made a few errors early before he's been able to settle down and finish out his opponents. So he's going to want to see if he can just start off, stay within himself, play to his strengths early, not try to do too much. And if he's in a rhythm early, that'll be he'll want to be on that track. With
any championship round, you're very excited. You have to keep your emotions in check. Realize you've got a game to stick to. Stick to that game. That's where your success is going to come from as well.
Yeah, absolutely. In either case, neither player is going to want to go beyond what their strengths are.
It's a mental game. It's also a physical game. These two are up for it. It's the finals. It's the 2016 Men's Senior Western National Championships here at the Calgary Winter Club. And you have Thomas Huang and Richard Cooper in the men's 40 and over category. Thomas with the serve.
Play. Loud 15.
Both gentlemen, they'll be trying to feel each other out, understand what they've got, get into their rhythm. That'll lead to their success.
So a little shaky error there just early on. It's really hard in the first few points of a match to just settle in and play your normal shots, and we'll see both of them settle down.
Butterflies.
$15-30.
That's one thing Thomas can't afford, is to give away those free points.
15-40.
Miss hit.
Just the pressure of the speed of the return from Richard there.
First game, Cooper.
Yeah, same again, that ball's coming back really quickly. And I think one thing you'll want to watch for is that when Thomas has finished his serve, he's staying very tight to the baseline, and Richard returns with a lot of speed, and that's going to make it tough for that. Thomas needs to make that second shot, and being tight to the baseline, if Richard's hitting a high quality return, that's going to be difficult.
It's not the way you want to start off a match, losing your first break, and now here's an opportunity for Richard to capitalize on that. He's serving
Richard Cooper
for the first time in this match. Richard Cooper taking on Thomas Wang.
15
Solid
love.
first serve.
And we'll see throughout the match that Richard has a really absolutely top level serve.
Love.
And he's able to back it up with that next shot. He's dangerous off both sides with his ground strokes, forehand and backhand.
Excellent return.
Love.
For Thomas to be successful, he has to be able to return those aggressive serves, or he's in for a long day.
Yes.
Game Cooper. 2 games to love.
Establishing himself early, establishing himself with a 2-love lead. This in the first set. You're watching the 2016 Men's Senior Western National Championships, tennis championships from the Calgary Winter Club. Serving now is Thomas Wang. First set.
Love 15.
Nerves?
Well, it's partly nerves and partly pressure, because the standard of ball that Thomas is receiving is it's one that he isn't seeing all the time, and so it's a combination of the two.
Moving him around, amazing from corner to corner. Fantastic from Richard.
Well, this is exactly what Richard would want early in the match. We're 2.5 games in. He's made 1 error only, and so that doesn't bode well for Thomas. Nope, I jinxed him, I guess.
15-30.
Double fault, can't afford.
Another aspect with the nerves is that majority of the time these players aren't playing with an umpire and a ball crew, and so it takes a little getting used to the timing of getting the balls from the ball kids, and it just intensifies the pressure a little bit.
Is there something in his technique that you're noticing that he's not doing right now that Thomas, I mean, he's already down 3 games to love. He's got to pick something up. He's got to change his game, and he knows it.
Absolutely, just a little too tight at the moment, like not letting the wrist move enough on that serve.
3-love. We've just started the 2016 Men's Senior Western National Tennis Championships. We're at the Calgary Winter Club. 4th game coming up here on Shaw TV.
For Sir George Etienne Cartier, the work of uniting Canada was as vast as the country itself. First, he won over Quebec.
Union is the only way forward.
Non, Monsieur Cartier!
Confederation will cost French Canadians their nationality.
Monsieur, together we will form a political nationality independent of our origins.
Diversity will be Canada's strength.
Then he fought for Manitoba.
The Northwest has formed a government under Louis Riel. We will not join Confederation unless our rights are respected.
So you want a new province? Then you'll have it. There will be a place for your people in Canada.
He envisioned a country from Atlantic to Pacific.
British Columbia won't even think of joining Canada without a wagon road through the Rockies.
Ask for a railway. We are building a country, after all.
Bold as a lion, Confederation could not have happened but for him. Du Canada, son pays, ses amours.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta Amateur Sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
I'm not special. Cancer happens to people all the time. I take 1 mile at a time, 26 miles a day. I want to set an example that'll never be forgotten. Sometimes, it feels endless. But the pain I feel is nothing. I've seen little kids in so much pain. Somewhere, the hurting must stop.
Terry Fox ran more than halfway across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every year, millions of people around the world continue the marathon of hope in his name.
Welcome back to Shaw TV, the 2016 Men's Senior Western National Tennis Championships at the Calgary Winter Club. My name is Phoenix, joined by assistant tennis pro here at the CWC. It's Peter Smythe. We also have our sideline reporter, JP Parsonage, who will be joining us as well, too, with the results, with the interviews with the winners. Here we go into the fourth game. And so far, a commanding lead by that gentleman, as you can tell by that serve, Richard Cooper, and a 15-love score.
That's a really tough serve. It's coming right into the body, curving right in with a lot of spin, a lot of pace. Really hard to have a time to get out of the way to make that return.
Those are the types of shots that Thomas has to be able to return. Is he too close to the baseline? Does he need to move back?
In that particular case, he needs to either be quite a bit further back or move in and take it sooner. The difficulty is that it's a wide variety of serves he's needing to cover in this game alone. He's had the ball slicing into his body, kicking up high away from him on the backhand side, and now just a straight power serve down the middle. So there's no one-size-fits-all answer. That's a real display of power, variety, and spin. In a 40 and over level event, you're not going to find many serves better than this one anywhere.
Tom is hoping to hold serve here. If he doesn't, he's in a whole heap of trouble, especially if he's hoping to win the first set.
just see how little time he has to make that next shot. So after the serve, he'd need to be recovering back a quick step just to have a little extra time.
Early in the match, again, you can see the frustration already on Thomas Wang's face. He realizes that something has to happen, and real fast. Just in 5 games to love for Richard Cooper. A dominating performance so far here at the Calgary Winter Club.
This is where the pressure just builds. With Richard not making errors, there's a lot of pressure on Thomas to keep making his shots, but he's not getting much time to make them.
We've noticed the incredible play of Mr. Richard Cooper. Will Thomas Wang find a way to match the results? We're back in a few moments. Calgary Winter Club.
For Sir George Etienne Cartier, the work of uniting Canada was as vast as the country itself. First, he won over Quebec.
Union is the only way forward.
No, Monsieur Cartier. Confederation will cost French Canadians their nationality.
Monsieur, together we will form a political nationality independent of our origins.
Diversity will be Canada's strength.
Then he fought for Manitoba.
The Northwest has formed a government under Louis Riel. We will not join Confederation unless our rights are respected.
So you want a new province? Then you'll have it. There will be a place for your people in Canada.
He envisioned a country from Atlantic to Pacific.
British Columbia won't even think of joining Canada without a wagon road through the Rockies.
Ask for a railway. We are building a country, after all.
Bold as a lion, Confederation could not have happened but for him. Du Canada, son pays, ses amours.
Wycom Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit wycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
I'm not special. Cancer happens to people all the time. I take 1 mile at a time, 26 miles a day. I want to set an example that'll never be forgotten. Sometimes, it feels endless. But the pain I feel is nothing. I've seen little kids in so much pain. Somewhere, the hurting must stop.
Terry Fox ran more than halfway across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every year, millions of people around the world continue the marathon of hope in his name.
Senior Western National Championships. It's indoor tennis here from the beautiful Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Look at that landscape. Again, the Calgary Winter Club, a fantastic facility here. Numerous indoor tennis courts. That gentleman, Richard Cooper, to this point, Peter Smythe, has been dominating the match over this gentleman, Thomas Wang.
Yes, Richard's really been solid. Thomas was probably hoping he would make a few of the errors that he made early in some of his previous matches, and that just hasn't been the case. And with Richard not making errors, there's constant pressure. The serve is high quality. The next shot is a really high quality, and without getting into a rhythm early and not getting any free points in return from Richard, it just puts Thomas under a whole lot of pressure.
Serving for the set, Richard Cooper.
And there's some more variety from Richard with the serve and volley. So not only is he dangerous with the serve and from the back, but he can also move in.
Love.
Probably one of Thomas's best returns, but the results not where he wanted.
Exactly. That was maybe Richard's fastest serve so far, but not so well placed. And where you'll see the quality of Richard's serve is in his placement and variety.
For the set.
Sometimes the second serve is even more difficult than the first.
First set to Richard Cooper. It's a gut check time for Thomas Wang. Down one set. Handily taken care of by Richard Cooper. This is the men's 40 and over. We're at the Calgary Winter Club. Second set to come.
For Sir George Etienne Cartier, the work of uniting Canada was as vast as the country itself. First, he won over Quebec.
Union is the only way forward.
No, Monsieur Cartier. Confederation will cost French Canadians their nationality.
Monsieur, together we will form a political nationality independent of our origins.
Diversity will be Canada's strength.
Then he fought for Manitoba.
The Northwest has formed a government under Louis Riel. We will not join Confederation unless our rights are respected.
So you want a new province? Then you'll have it. There will be a place for your people in Canada.
He envisioned a country from Atlantic to Pacific.
British Columbia won't even think of joining Canada without a wagon road through the Rockies.
Ask for a railway. We are building a country, after all.
Bold as a lion, Confederation could not have happened but for him. Canada, son pays, ses amours.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
I'm not special. Cancer happens to people all the time. I take 1 mile at a time, 26 miles a day. I want to set an example that'll never be forgotten. Sometimes, it feels endless. But the pain I feel is nothing. I've seen little kids in so much pain. Somewhere, the hurting must stop.
Terry Fox ran more than halfway across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every year, millions of people around the world continue the marathon of hope in his name.
Welcome back to Shaw TV, the 2016 Men's Senior Western National Tennis Championships from the Calgary Winter Club. One set up is Richard Cooper over Thomas Wang. This is the best of 3 here in Calgary, Alberta. So far, a dominating performance. But to compete at the national level, you have to begin somewhere. Here, have a look at one of the top players in Alberta in his category, 9-year-old Addison.
And same, so we're looking at right up here, okay, for your impact. At the Calgary Winter Club, we train kids from ages 5 and up. We do have an early Munchkins program, which is 3 and 4-year-olds, which is a lot of fun in the gym. But on the tennis courts, we start them at 5 years of age. Feel the ball movement, all right? Got good impact.
My name is Addison and I'm 9 years old.
Addison's levels, he's one of the top players in Alberta as a 9-year-old. He made the provincial under 10 team. It's pretty exciting to see his level of play progress, especially as he's playing more tournaments and training a little bit more. It's a great lifetime sport, so players that take up tennis at this age, they can certainly play right into their 80s.
I want to play until my 80s. Want to become a professional tennis player too.
I think you have to do a lot of thinking. What I really like about tennis is that there's some psychological component to it. There's a mental and a little bit of physical as well. So it really gives you a well-rounded game that's challenging. All right, just try. Do your best to get a forehand right now. That's it. Good.
It's a fun game. You have to be really good at it. It's a very technical sport.
You need to have good fundamentals, good grips, proper technique on the forehand, backhand, serve. Those things are hard to acquire and they take a few years for most kids to be able to do them competitively, okay, and competently. So.
I like training here at the Calgary Winter Club. The coaches are really nice. The kids here are fun, and they teach you really good tennis.
If you return from wide to down the line, you got to make sure you get recovered on that side of center, right? That's how you got in trouble first. You really have to have a passion for the game. He seems to love it out playing on the court. It's a matter of he's got lots of tools, he's got lots of ability. He can hit the ball pretty well. Technique is coming along. And if he likes competing, then he can keep playing tournaments and probably doing very well.
I think we can all pick up a few tips from that young man. What a great performer Addison is. Here we go with the second set. My name is Phoenix, joined by sideline reporter JP Parsonage and assistant tennis pro at CWC, Peter Smythe. As we begin the second set, Thomas Wang serving.
Love, 15.
A dominating first set, Peter. Is there something that you would advise Thomas to do right now? Does he change his entire strategy?
Well, I think a couple of things he'll need to do. One is he'll need to change his court positioning to play further back in the court just because of the speed and power and spin from Richard. And returning serve, he's going to need to move around a little bit more instead of staying in the same position. He's going to need to move back for the first serves. And
Love, 40.
Longest rally so far, but still.
yeah, that's a shot Thomas would normally make, and that's where the pressure comes in.
First game, second set, Cooper.
Broken again.
And that ball, once again, the serve's just back on him so fast, he's having trouble handling the speed there.
So what would you suggest for him to handle the speed? Is there just I don't want to say this is a lost cause. There's got to be something that he can do in his game right now. Again, gut check time. He is taking a moment to realize, okay, I've got to do something, and I've got to do it right now.
He needs to find a way to give himself more time to be returning the ball. So if he maybe adds a little spin to his serve and then is able to recover back another step and a half quickly before the return comes back, that would give him a shot. And if he can get into the points on his own service game, could get some rhythm that way. And then returning again, he probably needs to change up his position returning. He's kind of staying in the same spot.
The first time that we actually have seen Richard come to the net and successful attempt.
And you see there, that's a touch drop shot, and he's been able to win with power. He's been able to win with the serve, the forehand, the backhand, and at net. Went for the big first serve. You see on the second serve again, he just creates a ton of speed and spin, and it's still very difficult to return. And see how high that ball's bouncing? Like that's by the time it got to Thomas, that's well above his head. So for that serve, Thomas either needs to be further forward or considerably further back to have a reasonable shot at it.
He's riding the baseline and expecting the same results or different results. You're right. At this point, positioning for him is key.
Game, Cooper.
And that's a difficult adjustment for Thomas to make because this is a different quality opponent from the ones that he's usually playing in the tournaments that he enters. And so he's able to play with that positioning, play effectively, even defend and counterattack effectively. And then this is just a different type of ball that he's receiving. He's not used to it, and it's really hard in a competitive situation to go outside your comfort zone like that.
15 love.
And here's a good jam serve, that serve curving into the body, and that's he probably needs to use more of that so Richard can't get his arms extended and generate power.
Love.
Unforced error from Richard.
And that's what Thomas was hoping to see a lot more of early. And
that's right.
And we'll see. It's early in the second set, so you may see. If sometimes the momentum changes a bit. If Richard makes a few more errors here, then Thomas can get back in the match.
30-15.
So there, for the first time, we have 3 errors in the same game from Richard. And there again, we have a different return, a low slice return. Thomas is really having to deal with a lot of variety there. So here at 30-40, this is, 40-30, and this is a really important game for Thomas to capitalize to get back in the match. And just having trouble handling that depth and pace.
And there's the results.
Advantage, Huang.
A little unusual to see Richard slice that forehand return, so we'll see if Thomas can capitalize again.
trouble with his backhand.
And again, just the ball's on him a lot quicker than he's used to and having trouble with the pace. If you just look how close he is on the baseline there, and then he's having to back up. So again, he's really tight to the baseline when that ball comes. And
Advantage, Cooper.
he's having to pick that right up off the bounce, whereas against an open level player, you need to be playing further back than that.
Chance at a break right now. Solid performance from Richard Cooper. That is 3 games to love. Second set. Is there anything left in the tank for Thomas Wang? We're going to find out. You're watching the 2016 Men's Senior Western National Tennis Championships from the Calgary Winter Club. More to come on Shaw TV.
For Sir George Etienne Cartier, the work of uniting Canada was as vast as the country itself. First, he won over Quebec.
Union is the only way forward.
No, Monsieur Cartier. Confederation will cost French Canadians their nationality.
Monsieur, together we will form a political nationality independent of our origins.
Diversity will be Canada's strength.
Then he fought for Manitoba.
The Northwest has formed a government under Louis Riel. We will not join Confederation unless our rights are respected.
So you want a new province? Then you'll have it. There will be a place for your people in Canada.
He envisioned a country from Atlantic to Pacific.
British Columbia won't even think of joining Canada without a wagon road through the Rockies.
Ask for a railway. We are building a country, after all.
Bold as a lion, Confederation could not have happened but for him. Du Canada, son pays, ses amours.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
I'm not special. Cancer happens to people all the time. I take 1 mile at a time, 26 miles a day. I want to set an example that'll never be forgotten. Sometimes, it feels endless. But the pain I feel is nothing. I've seen little kids in so much pain. Somewhere, the hurting must stop.
Terry Fox ran more than halfway across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every year, millions of people around the world continue the marathon of hope in his name.
Welcome back to the 2016 Men's Senior Western National Championships here at the Calgary Winter Club. My name is Phoenix. Our online sideline reporter is JP Parsonage. We'll be checking with him in just a few moments, joined also by assistant tennis pro at CWC, Mr. Peter Smythe. Well, as we know, the logistics of any event can be very daunting. With one of the individuals in charge, here's JP.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Hank Yap, Assistant Tournament Director, correct? For the CWC. Tell us a little bit about the tournament, Hank, and what goes on here.
this tournament basically attracts players from across Canada, although it's titled like Western Canada Senior Indoor Open, but it attracts players from across Canada. We even have participants from the US, so which is fantastic, and it's very, very encouraging to see the many players that's coming here, and we are co-hosting with the Glencoe Club together, and it's been a fantastic event, and players really, really enjoy themselves.
So far, this has been a fantastic tennis event. We've really enjoyed ourselves as Shaw being here. What do you guys have coming up next? Where is the next tournament, and what else can people look for as far as Tennis Canada goes?
All right, so a plug next year. So the Western, the same event will be held in Edmonton.
Okay.
So, for players that's interested in joining or new participant, please register in Edmonton. And the national event will be happening this summer in Ottawa. So the Ottawa will be hosting the national event. So this is important because if you actually do well, you could qualify and represent Canada at the international senior events.
Okay, so if people in and around Calgary in the area right now want to come down to the Winter Club, can they still sign up here?
No, the sign-up is actually done because this is a Tennis Canada event. It's actually through the website on Tennis Canada.
Okay, so go through the website, Tennis Canada website. Thank you for your time, Hank. Appreciate it. Great tournament today. Back to you guys.
It does take a lot to put a tournament like this together, and here we are, the Calgary Winter Club. Peter, as you know, a fantastic facility.
It certainly is. We've got 6 beautiful courts and numerous other sports activities and facilities for families.
Best of 3 sets. Here is Richard Cooper serving to start the 4th.
15 love.
An aggressive stance past the baseline proves to be successful for Richard.
He's been able to dominate off both forehand and backhand sides and in all aspects of the game. He's just a really dangerous player. He can hurt you in every way.
Love.
Second ace of the match.
See, that's just perfectly placed, right out of reach.
We're seeing some tools from Richard that he doesn't necessarily have to bring to this table, but again, very impressive for Richard Cooper.
Yeah, just perfect serve and volley technique there, very clean. Just putting pressure on the opponent, doesn't know if he's going to come in or stay back, and he's dangerous either way.
Very rare double fault for Richard Cooper. If Thomas has any hopes of being successful in this match, he has to break him, and he has to break him right now.
Game, Cooper. Four games to
You see
love,
Thomas
second
getting
set.
into a little rhythm in that rally, and so he's going to want to keep that up in this next game, maybe force a couple of errors.
Peter, we're watching a clinic.
We're seeing Richard playing just really clean, really sharp, and he's such a strong player. If he's not making errors, he's not beating himself, then it's very, very hard to beat him. You have to go out there and be able to hit winners against him.
Mm.
15 all.
was an opportunity there.
15-30.
Really good serve, right to the body, got a ball in the middle, and that was a chance to attack.
Richard still taking some chances, hoping for something. And why not? He can afford to.
And that's his game. He's got to be aggressive, in control, but he's an aggressive player.
Contrast Thomas's court position to Richard's. And you can tell that Richard understands exactly where he needs to be on the court.
Well, Richard's just used to playing against a heavier, faster ball, more spin and so on. So it's more his comfort zone, and he's just doing what he would normally do. And again, for Thomas, it's very difficult to go outside your comfort zone in a competitive situation, and he doesn't get to practice against players like this very often. So it's a really challenging situation to be in.
Well, hope is not lost yet, but serving for the match coming up after the break. Is this Richard Cooper's game, set, match? We're about to find out. You're watching the 2016 Men's Senior Western National Tennis Championships here on Shaw TV from the Calgary Winter Club.
For Sir George Etienne Cartier, the work of uniting Canada was as vast as the country itself. First, he won over Quebec.
Union is the only way forward.
No, Monsieur Cartier. Confederation will cost French Canadians their nationality.
Monsieur, together we will form a political nationality independent of our origins.
Diversity will be Canada's strength.
Then he fought for Manitoba.
The Northwest has formed a government under Louis Riel. We will not join Confederation unless our rights are respected.
So you want a new province? Then you'll have it. There will be a place for your people in Canada.
He envisioned a country from Atlantic to Pacific.
British Columbia won't even think of joining Canada without a wagon road through the Rockies.
Ask for a railway. We are building a country, after all.
Bold as a lion, Confederation could not have happened but for him. Canada, son pays, ses amours.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
I'm not special. Cancer happens to people all the time. I take 1 mile at a time, 26 miles a day. I want to set an example that'll never be forgotten. Sometimes, it feels endless. But the pain I feel is nothing. I've seen little kids in so much pain. Somewhere, the hurting must stop.
Terry Fox ran more than halfway across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every year, millions of people around the world continue the marathon of hope in his name.
This is the Senior Western National Championships here on Shaw TV, indoor tennis from Calgary, Alberta. It is at the Calgary Winter Club, and pretty much a dominant performance Peter Smythe by one particular gentleman, and there he is, Richard Cooper, serving for the game, set, and match.
Love 15.
And there he chooses on the first serve to go with more of the high kicking spin serve, and that's why it's so difficult. You might be expecting the faster one, and all of a sudden you've got one bouncing up over your head. And then that serve pulls his opponent right off the court outside the double sideline. So it's really tough to break serve. And you can hear the volume when he hits the ball. There's a lot of power there.
Solid return down the line.
40-15.
Match point.
Well, that's how you end a game right there. A solid performance by Richard Cooper over Thomas Wang. 6-love, 6-love here at the Calgary Winter Club, and there is your champion, the men's senior Western National Tennis champion right there, Mr. Richard Cooper, with a dominant performance today in just under 50 minutes. He has taken this game, Peter Smythe. What an impressive performance.
A really impressive performance. So few errors, constant pressure on his opponent, and he just executed to perfection. For Thomas to have a chance, Richard would have needed to be making multiple errors, and otherwise, I mean, if you're going to beat Richard, you've got to make him uncomfortable, get him to make some errors and beat himself.
Here's JP with Richard Cooper right now.
All right, thanks, guys. So, got to feel pretty good right now, Rich. How was that game for you? What did you think of your play, and was there anything you think you could have improved on?
I played pretty good. I think I got better each round, so.
Yeah, I think that was a fairly strong performance. Your serve, tell us a little bit about your serve. That seemed to be your strongest weapon.
Yeah, I tried to make sure I took actually, I serve a little bit harder, but I took a little off to make sure my percentages were pretty high, and I just didn't want to give him too many good looks.
All right. Well, I mean, as a longtime pro, you've been here at the Winter Club for 2 years, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the past history and what kind of stuff you've done in the past.
I used to teach in Niagara area in Ontario. I traveled a lot with a couple of the players that I coached. I coached 3 national champions and haven't really played much myself, so it's mostly been coaching instead of playing. Maybe one tournament a year now.
Well, I think the playing is still there. You showed a fairly strong game. You seem pretty happy with that. Anything else coming up next?
Maybe play a couple tournaments in the summer and maybe some doubles with some of the kids that I coach.
All right. Well, thanks. Great job today. Congratulations. All right, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, JP. A dominant performance by Richard Cooper. Final score, 6-love, 6-love. He is your men's senior Western National Tennis champion for 2016. Again, a dominant performance, Peter Smythe.
Yeah, just able to use all his weapons, all aspects of the game. Such a mixture of variety, so much variety in all aspects of the game. Serving with placement, power, spin, able to be dangerous off the forehand and backhand side, and then finish at net. Really tough package.
Credit to Mr. Richard Cooper. There is your winner today, here from the Calgary Winter Club, the 2016 Men's Senior Western National Tennis Championships. Thanks for joining us on Shaw.